Okay. So around that time, so if I have to send the person data, okay, let's say you, okay, first name, last name, I have to put it in an XML tag, okay, encapsulate, wrap it around the
Can
first
you show me
name.
that syntax just for my reference?
Okay, sure. We can look at it. Somewhere it will be there in my side. Or
like this, huh? Okay. But this is
so,
soap. Soap kulla.
so I mean, I'm coming to it. So XML, you see this, right? XML version 1, XML namespace, and it's got a soap envelope is just a wrapper. Envelope when I'm a letter. See, if you have a message, I just fold that paper, put it into an envelope and send, right? So these people have put a soap envelope around your message. Okay. Now, whatever be that message. Okay. So there is some structure to it. Soap header, soap body, and all that. And here, this is a function exposed as an API. All APIs are function available over the net. Okay. What an API is? It's simply when you have a model, you have a function of that model which allows you to read, create, and all that, the CRUD operation on that model, and it's exposing that as an endpoint, a service. Okay, API, application programming interface. That means if I have my tax information, okay, let's say in Australia, where they have a tax code, okay, like a VAT code or something, okay, ABN number, okay, it's called ABN number, Australia business number, okay. If you get there is an API where you put the tax code, he'll tell you what the business is. This is the name is. Okay, so this is a service. Okay, so the service is available over the net as an API. Okay, the developer of that API has put it as a public interface. Okay, so what an API is? API is nothing but some service with an endpoint. Endpoint. They call it endpoint because with that URL, you get that service. You get a handle to that service, whatever is coded underlying. Okay, so இங்க வந்து என்ன get user, and if I pass the user ID, it will get me my response with the name. Okay, okay, Tony Star or okay, so username, it just gets a SOAP response. So the SOAP envelope is a SOAP request and a SOAP response. So around year 2000, these guys are sending messages. Even SOAP is followed today. Simple Object Access Protocol.
Yeah,
Okay.
we followed it actually in earlier version of the product.
See, but what was happening is when you have to send SOAP messages, there are some you'll have to you'll see the purchase order is a big, huge message. Okay. So the messages themselves get bulky. Okay. A lot of this wrapping around all the wrapper and all that. People found it difficult to modify anything, all that. Okay. So the challenge is the messages, the payload. What a message payload means? It's the entire purchase order. Okay. So the payload is bulky. Okay. So then
Here in this query, where is the payload? Payload is 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
when we say payload, the whole this SOAP envelope itself is a payload.
Anything inside the envelope is a payload.
Anything. Okay. The payload is like, okay, what is inside that rocket is the payload, right? So payload is that term. They just use that. Payload here is what you're sending across, okay? Or what you're receiving. These are bulky, okay? So even today, they have this structure and they're still following it because it's just a standard, okay? Now, so there's a HTTP request on that endpoint and the rest means it's giving a response back. Now, this Roy Fielding, okay, put what stands for REST? REST stands for representational state transfer. Okay. What he said is it should, he put a PhD thesis, it's just an article, okay. It's a research paper, okay. Follows rules of REST specification. So he said that, okay, if it is a REST, it follows certain specification. REST resource based, unlike URIs. REST is resource based like URIs, JSON, and XML and all that. But REST is resource based. Okay, resource based in the sense that resource resource. I mean, okay, resource state is transferred between client and server. State abdina, it's in this context, in API's context, state means data, that model. Okay, state is not something else. Okay, in this context, when they use this term state, it just means our model. It's the object which you're talking about. It means data. Okay, so the resource state is transferred between client and server, follows REST rules, and it has endpoints, much like any other API. Resource can be stateful, stateless. Okay. Server does not retain client connection, asynchronous. Okay, so this is stateless, and stateful means client doesn't have a direct connection with the, stateful, client doesn't have a direct connection with the server. Slightly subtle meaning here. It's something like stateful means they have a direct connection with the server. Okay, sorry, the client doesn't have a direct connection with server, but it has a maintenance of the connection information, all that. Okay, stateful is not followed. So REST API,
REST is stateless, right?
Stateless.
Basically, REST is
stateless.
I understand stateful, like you have to register yourself and you have sent hello packets, right? Then it's a state. You are maintaining a state, isn't it?
Yes, and stateless is what REST is. Okay, so there is also okay, stateless, okay, is what standard REST is. REST API means server does not retain client data. Okay, so here RESTful services are layered, having transparency in software. See, these are his RESTful services are layered in terms of transparency, software, middleware, and hardware layers. That means between the layers, you have transparency. Okay, that is one. Okay. If you
just like your OSA SEO model, right? Between the layers, you have
these are principles. These are some principles he wrote in terms
of thesis. Okay.
In his thesis. REST services also are cacheable and scalable. See, when you send a huge purchase order, that itself is a large message. Now a Michelin like company or a JCPenney like company in the US, every night they have millions of records, millions of orders. Okay, every night. Okay. So what will be the payload? Like it will be crazy, right? So REST services are cacheable. Okay. There is cacheable and scalable. If you have to scale 2 million orders, think of it. It will just have a huge payload. Right. So they rely on concepts of caching. Today, client itself, see, in a client server model like this, okay, come back. Client server model. Client is sending a request, server is giving a HTTP response, right? HTTP request and HTTP response. This traffic, right, is what the web server is serving your data. But today, modern browsers are having up to 5 MB of cache here itself.
So, but today modern browsers, can they run SOAP also?
SOAP has evolved into the next version. The standard is still there. Initially, when they brought it out, it is some 1.0. Today, SOAP is at 2.0, looking at a 3.0 to be moved ahead. So SOAP has evolved into just a 2.0 version. I mean, there are some people who follow it. See, if you ask me, today, is EDI still followed? Yes. See, prior to these things.
But will browser support? That's my question. Like, that was my question. Like, is it
no,
something you have to add installable or something?
No. Modern browsers have now this concept of a local cache. Okay. That means you may not know it. if the first request, HTTP request went, let's say it brought 3 books or 2 books of a library. The data is stuck here in your browser. Up to 5 MB in most modern browsers are cached. You will not even know it. If you say you have a to-do list, okay, I add, okay, buy milk, read paper, like that. If I just add something, that data is not hitting. I mean, the first time you added those tasks, it has already hit the web server and has come back. Okay. Now watch. Modern browsers have 5 MB of space here itself. Those to-do list tasks are cached here as well. Okay. It need not be that every time the client is hitting the server, sending this HTTP request, your client in the browser itself is serving your application of adding to-dos. Okay. At some point, it is caching here itself. Okay. So the cache is restricted to some.
What do you mean by cache? What you're saying is when you, it is just
so
holding it there. It is not sending to the server. Is that what you're saying?
that data is served from your browser. Yeah, if you see, let me just. The data is in the
I don't
browser.
understand this clearly.
This is modern version of browsing. Okay, when most people may not even realize this because traditionally, you know, client server and it's sending and getting the data. But if you see, some modern browsers are still having cache, and let me just pull it up there. Do you see a HTML or security? Python boot, yeah, math, Django, Flash. Hold on. Flash, math, basics, HPLC, HTML, HTML somewhere. Hold on. SQL, next to SQL only. There is a, yeah, in one of the HTML sessions, I did that.
No, right. So my question is,
HTML.
when you talk about caching.
No, understand. Here, there is a HTML. Okay, HTML version 3. Okay, I got it. A lot of things happening in the browser. Modern browsers have what's called a cache. Okay. Okay. Responsive template, you understand that, right? The responsive, the page is responsive, but data responsive by design. In HTML5, okay, yeah, HTML5 has web storage. This was not there before. Only from HTML5 they started web storage. That means it stores data in the browser, and I'm sure many of the users don't realize this. Up to 5 MB of data is stored locally. Has no expiration date.
Okay.
Unless you go clear the cache, this data will not even go. So this is modern browsers. Okay, if your browser is supporting HTML5, okay, which latest versions of the browser will do. Okay, so the data is sitting in your cache. That means it is still up to 5 MB of data has not been sent. I mean, it is local. If you take application like a to-do list, add, update, and all that, the data is still hit my web storage in the browser. Okay. So, and of course, when you, at some point, it will send it back to the server. When you do the post, at some cycle, the cache will get refreshed. Okay. So this is happening. Okay. So when he says the API, we get back here. RESTful service are cacheable. Your service is also having that capability to cache information. Okay, and scalable. Scalable, of course, it can scale. If you look at the XML payloads of
See, if I build
SOAP,
an application, Ajit, if I build a Django application, so I don't know what version of HTML that the prospective client is going to use, correct?
Yes. Yes. So if the client has not upgraded his browser, which is rare, but it might have been upgraded, can be maybe 80/20. Okay. So if it is upgraded, then they have this capability. If it is not upgraded, it still works the older backward
Yeah. So
compatibility.
if I oh, it's like that, huh? So it will otherwise you have to prompt them to upgrade, something like that.
That happens from the
Automatically.
browser standpoint. Some prompt will come. Yeah, but it's the user choice. Anything at the client side is a user choice, right? So
No,
whenever
I'm just asking you how this rule works. Like
how this
I,
no
I
this rule is saying that REST, if you have a service, let's say this tax service where you give a ABN number and get the business Australian business number, produces what is the name of the business. Okay, so that service is cacheable. That means whenever you are putting out an API, if it is REST, it should be cacheable. If you look at it the other way, okay, it should be cacheable and it can scale, it can be scalable. See, when he wrote this, he just put out the PhD thesis.
the kind of criteria he just said, probably the
Correct.
rules of
Yeah, because it was getting chaos. Because if you look XML, SOAP XML, SOAP is not only bulky, okay, it is rigid, okay, and it means it is not flexible to changes. Okay, that's what here I mean. And if you have to modify something, you have to go back changing everything, things like that. And it is it had the it's not readable, it's not interpretable in a simple manner. Okay, if you see this message, hardly anybody would make out what's going on at the first look, right? Only if you understood there is a SOAP wrapper standard, like it's a header and a body, and the body has certain dependency on the XML here, SOAP envelope. These things, if you understand the structure of the SOAP envelope, okay, then okay, you can get fairly, but it is not extendable. Okay, so the limitations are it is not extendable, it's not cacheable, it is again not user friendly in a way that it can be read. You see, this is a JSON message back. I have a list, a Pythonic list starting with that.
Even JSON is not readable, right, Ajay? It's very hierarchical.
JSON does not have complexity. It's just key values. Relative to SOAP, you see that it's got key and values. Key and value. I have again a list here. This is a flat list, right? In a list, you have this flower bracket. It's one first user, second user, like that. Okay.
Okay. Now I'm little I need some clarity. So HTTP is a protocol, okay, and its equivalent is SOAP, or its equivalent is inside the HTTP you use SOAP.
When the final request goes, everything is a HTTP.
Yeah. So HTTP is a envelope inside which you are sending it by SOAP or by REST.
A SOAP or by REST, correct? Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's true. That's true. And here the hope you got that clear, right? The main difference is here it uses JSON. Okay. JSON, it's more readable. Okay. And this JavaScript object notation was popularized by Douglas Crockford, okay, another computer scientist, okay, around that time, 2000 only, okay. So REST API works on request response, stateless, okay, HTTP methods, it will support get, put, post, the most common being get and post. Okay. And of course, it corresponds to the CRUD like this: create, read, update, delete. And again, for each of these, you have a different error codes. Like status code for the read is in 200 series, like that. You have data not found, which is page not found 404. Those are typical error messages. If so, these are like the status codes and the HTTP methods, which still follows. See, SOAP and REST, here is one key difference if you see it. SOAP is built around remote procedure calls. I have that get user, which I showed you here. Get user. Here, get user. Get user, remote procedure, we are calling. Okay. And REST is resource based. See, this is the difference here. I would pass get user and pass 21, the user ID, to get the user in SOAP. Whereas when you say resource base in REST, you would just use the resource URI /user/21. This is the notation of the call. You see?
Okay, how was it in SOAP?
In SOAP, you have to just pass that particular function with the ID, the procedure. This is coming from a former world, remote procedure call, RPC calls. Even today, SOAP is there. SOAP is RPC calls where you pass like this. This rest is a resource base.
Basically, what I'm saying, like you're calling a function.
Excuse me. Yeah. You're calling function, but this is
calling a function
URI based. And that is function directly. Called remote procedure calls and resource based differ like that.
Okay,
now,
got it.
And finally, what are you saying? REST is stateless and uses token or client based and access keys. REST services are stateless, so the server does not retain the client data. I came to you as a doctor. Let's say I go to a doctor. The first time the doctor diagnoses you, he'll ask you, what is your name, age, gender? He'll write it in that prescription. And then he'll look at you, okay, what is your problem? He'll ask, okay. He just takes down all that. In that prescription, he'll write, and then he'll say, this is a medicine, right? He diagnoses you, and then he finally writes a medicine. Now, the doctor has seen you first time. He wrote down all the prescription as a token. Okay. Next time when you go there, he doesn't ask what is your name, right? He knows you. He got that prescription. He just looks at it. He knows you, right? So the token-based philosophy or the token-based authentication is what we just talked about. So the doctor does not, first time he got all that information, put it in a token. So the service has given a token to you. Okay. He does not retain in a register and anywhere that you are Prabhu. Right? He only wrote in that token, in that prescription. Okay. So the server does not retain any client information. That is stateless. Okay. The next time you log in, of course, you have the access keys which you log into the server, but he looks for that token. The token is sufficient for him to take it forward from there. Meaning, okay, as soon as the doctor saw your prescription, doctor is like, okay, we know. He came 3 days before. This is his. I asked him to come 3 days later, right? After the first visit, and he writes, okay, you take this medicine for 5 days, come back if you are not okay. Now, when you go back, he is not asking you what is your problem. He knows the prescription. Okay. The token is sufficient for him to know the background. Understand? So token, today's security.
So that's not the case in SOAP.
In REST. RESTful services stateless. Doctor.
No, that's not the case in soap. I'm asking you.
Soap, you'll have to put everything. Yeah, that's not the case in soap. Soap envelope, you have to you have to send. Maybe they evolved to version 2.0. I mean,
Maybe they changed. Okay.
yeah, maybe they also grew up, but actually that's a basic difference here. But when you say something is a REST based, REST is stateless. Okay.
Got it. Okay. No problem. Yeah.
And today, I don't think the whole world has shifted to RESTful services.
Yeah.
Okay. There is also the contrarian of this, the alternative of REST, which is called restless services, which is it's a funny name, but I don't even go there. There is also by
New PhD by new
by the
student.
paradigm, yeah, by paradigm or by that concept is also there, but the world is caught up on REST services. Okay. Based on this theory. Okay. So stateless. Okay. Token based.
So the payload is sent as what do you call as a JSON inside the REST.
So inside the REST, payload is sent as a JSON. I mean, when you send the request, of course is HTTP. Okay. But when you have to authenticate to that request, see there is a service, right? API is in fact a service, right? Endpoint service. Like let's fall back to this Australian business number example. Okay. ABN number. Okay. It's a service. They just you take the ID, they get you the name, the business name. Okay. Anybody can use it. So to that service, you can call it a public API. Okay. Now, when you have your own service, okay, you can allow a token-based authentication to that service. Spotify is a service, music streaming service. Okay. So you have your access keys or you have a token-based authentication. Authentication has a couple of levels. Okay. Access key based. That means if I go access key is nothing but an alternative to the login. When you go to log into your email, you have a username, password.
Yeah, I use access keys all the time. Yeah, I understand that
Access
example.
keys is nothing but a flattened version of a 256 SHA of your access login. It is
login.
access key. So the key is one level of authentication. There is also, if you look at Spotify, they have an internal implicit method where they have token-based authentication. Okay. To understand this paradigm, I'll take the example of the Texas State Fair or some carnival like that. Okay. Of that, or even Six Flags or Disney. First, you buy a ticket. That's your access key. Next, other internal services in Disney, like Space Mountain, Indiana Jones, each of them, you will have to take an additional token, right? Only then you
additional ticket.
The additional token or ticket, that is the token which will let you into that specific service.
Correct.
Okay. So then you enjoy that Indiana Jones ride or whatever, Space Mountain, and then you come off. Okay. So the token is a second level of authentication. Okay. So all this is supposed to be packed in a RESTful service. Okay. Now think of it like that Indiana Jones ride. Okay. You have to pass the tokens. Okay. I'll come to it. One more. I go back to the doctor paradigm. The doctor has given you that token. The second time you go back, the token is authenticating with that prescription, right? So here, the service, let's say you took that ride one time, issues a token. Now the server has given you that token. The Indiana Jones ride has given you token. Correct. Next time you go, you can still do that. Authentication is what it is doing. Server will look at the token and know that he is already, I know this client. I know this client. Okay.
Okay.
So tokens, for that matter, are um, duration based. Okay. So now sitting in your browser, coming back to here, sitting in your browser, the duration of that token is 3600 milliseconds. Okay. So, or seconds, I mean milliseconds, right? So a short duration. How much
Duration of the token. Okay, 1
the
hour.
token.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 hour or whatever. So Spotify will give you that token. So next time you go in, you don't have to log in. Connection is already gone. Next time, he is just looking at your browser as a token. Okay, welcome. Another paradigm of this is like we went, my wife and I went for a whale watching cruise in Monterey Bay. You know Monterey, down Silicon Valley? Monterey is one small town off San Jose. About like you have some attractions like 17-mile drive, where all the rough seas and all hitting and all that. It's an enjoyable drive. But we stayed in Monterey. We had a whale watching. We got into that. Okay. So he takes you for a ride. Okay. You buy a ticket, he takes you for a ride. Suppose you don't see a whale. Guess what happens?
You can come again and see another time.
He lets you come again until you see a whale. So these guys, of course, you may or may not come back. Okay, but
You're authorized.
You are given a token. Okay, very beautifully that okay, you've not seen a whale today, so come free and use my service once more. Okay, it's a beautiful way to market also, but this is where you can say the service which is providing you that tour, as soon as you show that token, okay, he knows that you've not seen a whale, and then he lets you free. Okay, so this is how the server and the client interact. Okay, and where is this implemented? Spotify. Okay, token base. Okay, see, this is the authentication. Not everyone is implementing token base. Sometimes when the session times out, gone, you have to log in again. You see some of the cases, but token base will give you a browser token, and that's short lived. Even that token will wait for some.
Sometimes before when you are given the token, you are also given what is authorized, right? You give a set of authorization also, right?
Yes. That's it's just telling that we know you. Much like the doctor doesn't go through all your problems the second visit. 5 days later, the doctor is not asking you. He's just asking how are you, because he already knows your case. You don't have to repeat like the whole first time you went to the doctor, right? So this is how authentication works. I just packed everything what's called OAuth or open auth, okay, into this, because whenever you see this token, you have so much to say. Services today are authentication with tokens. Rest of things we did see, okay, whether this is Edamame, recipe search API. Go in there, log in and create an access key. He can access your API. He has APIs like recipe search. Okay. With that access key in the browser, you put that access key in the browser, and your application can call that API. Here, here is that free text box here. I can put banana, and it will show me all the banana recipes. Okay. And we are just building the web app to have the card like that, the image and all the data we're mapping it to the feed, the title, the calorie, all that. Okay? The method of preparation. So here's your recipe search and your own website. Okay. So you can build applications like this. Okay. So
Ajay, I use this what do you call extensively. Okay, in my work, right? I use this. We have a endpoint which is auth2 enabled. Okay, authenticated. Okay. Now I have one question there. So what we do is when we authenticate now, initially we go and set up an app and we get client ID, client secret. Then I use the client ID and client secret to get a token for the payload, like what you said, for the payload token.
Bearer
right?
token.
Bearer token. So for the bearer token, I take it. Now when I get that, I also get a what do you call the refreshing regenerate token for regeneration. Right?
Okay.
So this original token is valid only for 12 hours, and the regenerate token is valid up to 60 days or 90 days. Okay. So now it is working, but I don't know how it is working. Like every time I run a query using the initially I build a small script and I keep doing querying the customer for data. So every time I'll get some data using this token, but this token obviously will have expire in 12 hours.
Correct.
So I keep sending my regenerate token along with the API token all the time. Okay. So what my engineer, the guy that the developer says is, every time you go, it refreshes the regenerate token. Okay. Okay. So he says that.
Okay.
Then I'll do one thing. I'll run that code and I'll give you. What I found was he says regenerate. So that way that regenerate token is valid infinitely, right? So as long as you have a regenerate token, every time it is renewed. Okay.
Right.
It is valid, but I don't see the token changing. That's my problem.
The regenerate, what is the duration?
That is 60 days.
60 days. So then it will only regenerate after 60 days. First regeneration would have happened. Okay. See, the duration is important. It just at the end point of the first token, it just expires. That token is expired. Okay. Now, if you're given a regenerate, it regenerated the second token, and the second token is validity 60 days. So until 60 days, that token is good.
Yeah, but after 60 days also,
okay.
That my customer says the token has not changed. Is it possible? I have not lasted so long.
Check that key. Check that exact key. For 60 days, it might be because it's regenerate token. I mean, I have to look at it, but the first 60 days, it would have been ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay, ABC 1, 2, 3. Some alphanumeric I'm saying. The second 60 days might be some DEF 4, 5, 6. It has gone into a new token, regenerating for another 60 days. It could be the case.
So, but when does it do it? When I put a query with the current token, valid token?
Of course, this query with the first token, the regenerate happens after the duration. This regenerated first key, ABC 1, 2, 3, it generates after the first token's duration.
After the first token's duration.
First token, let's say, is 3 minutes or something like that. The first token expired. Now, the regenerated token starts from the 4th minute, okay, for 60 days. Okay, so 2 months is over.
No, this regenerate token, if you send the regenerate token, it will give you a new bearer token. That's what they say. Okay. Now you are having the, so 12 hours, after 12 hours, obviously your token expired. But now that you have a regenerate token, you send the regenerate token along with this expired token, you get a fresh bearer token. Now you start using the bearer token again. So like that, you'll continue for 60 days.
60.
Right?
Yes.
So after 60 days, this regenerate token has to be changed, correct?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What is that I have to send for that? How do I know that?
Check the value. It may not, 60 days is passed. That first regenerated token is expired. Okay. Now check if the system is giving, a new DEF 456, a new regenerated token, whether that happens upon request or whether that happens automatically at the because client itself doesn't get a token, no? Even if we say regenerate, client's browser is not regenerating it automatically.
Automatically.
It's like at the end of the 5 days, when you go to the doctor might write something which, if he is not cured, he'll say come again, right? So that new thing which the doctor wrote on your after 5 day visit is a new token. I mean, it is
No. My
something.
question is, to regenerate the new one, will the expired old token be a good enough candidate?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a.
That's right. See, expired old token means 5 days later, I went to the doctor. Doctor saw the token is expired. That prescription allowed you for one visit. Okay. Now, when he writes something, because typically when he writes upon that first 3 days later or 5 days later visit, upon that 5 days later you go back, hey, I'm not cured. Okay. So that is only visit in that token. Another time he has to issue something, right? He has to issue. If he says, okay, come after 5 more days or come after 3 more days. So the regeneration is starting at that point. A new token is given.
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll go through the problem. See, I hit a problem, but it got resolved. The customer also does not know how it is resolved. I also don't know. I'll reproduce it in code and come back to you. Okay.
Okay.
I'll reproduce it. Okay.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah.
Sorry for that segue.
No,
Yeah.
DEF 456. Some new code would have been issued because you're regenerated from what you're saying, regenerated after 60 days. So the 60 days passed, first token has expired. Server would have reissued a new
What
token.
is the basis? See, the first time it generates, no, the first time it issues you a payload token and a refresh token. Okay, regenerate token. Payload token and regenerate token is
okay.
First time it issue is how it is doing is you have to do a authentication. You have to key in your username password. Then only it will issue that. So first time. Now what all I have is I have a payload token, which is the bearer token, and my regenerate token. Now I have these two things. So technically after 60 days, I should actually log in and get that data. Correct? Again log in. But the customer is not logging in. His story is going on. He is able to get the regenerate token. Okay. So that was the original issue. Anyway, I'll go through it again. But now he's not getting anything to log in. He says that my engineer gave some answer. I just sent it to them. They were happy and everything is everybody lived happily ever after. But I'll tell you what is the problem. I'll generate that issue and get back to you. Only thing is I can't get that. I have to wait for 60 days to outlive that problem, right?
What you can do, okay, to identify you prototype the solution this way. Sort of extract the scenario, right? And change the 60 days. I mean, do a copy of it and name the service something else, okay? In that simulated environment, you don't put 60 days. You put some 1 minute or some 30 seconds, some shorter duration. And you can sort of simulate the problem in a smaller time duration. You don't have to wait all the 60 days.
How can I do that? Like that 60 is managed by the server, no?
That is at the server. If your server and that service is
I don't have access to that.
Okay. So to sort of troubleshoot, you will have to abstract a prototype of it, right? And instead of calling it the original service itself, call it by some new name, okay? Something which makes it unique. And on that, now the modeled unique service, which I model only for this purpose. That
I can share my screen. I can show you that. Hold on. Let me see.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. The sharing is not highlighted. Can you enable me?
Okay. I stopped sharing. I've given you multiple. access. You can share your screen.
Hold on, that share button, yeah, it's here, right here. Okay. Desktop 1. Okay. Allow Zoom to open your share your screen. Allow open. Okay, I just did that. May not be able to record the contents of your screen later. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Desktop 1. What are you seeing? You're seeing my screen, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I can see this.
See, this is the token I generated. You see here, there's a refresh.
Okay.
This goes for say 90 days.
Okay.
And this is your bearer token. That is 12 hours.
Okay.
So 86,400 divided by 2. Okay. So
Oh.
now this stays. Now I keep using this bearer token. Okay. This guy. This is access token, right? And I keep using this, and I can use for 12 hours. But what I do is after 12 hours, obviously this will expire. To refresh this, I have to send this guy along. Refresh token. Okay. Now this guy expires after so much time. Okay. This is like 60 days. Now what happens is if I have to, after 60 days, this I got only by logging in. You get it right? I logged in, with my username and password. Then I got this content. Okay. Now after 60 days, I am supposed to log in, right? Because I have to get a fresh set of refresh token. So that is what my customer objected. He said, I can't keep logging in every 60 days. That's not fixed scalable, because we don't know when the service will actually hit 60 days. That day it could be a weekend. I will not be available on the weekend. So the services cannot stop. So for that, my engineer told, no, you send this refresh token along with the access token every time. Okay. So he said that, and he said that every time you send it, this guy gets automatically refreshed. That means his lease starts, it gets renewed for this much time again. So that way he is indefinitely, his lease is renewed, his refresh token value is renewed. Okay. So every time you send this a token to get the payload, along with that you send this guy. So his validity is for the next 90 days, 60 days. Like that, it keeps going on. That's what he's saying. And I have no control to reduce these numbers, like what you're saying. I can't reduce this to small value. That is controlled by the guys, engineering guys, right? They don't allow you all that.
So the refresh token is automatically changing, or he is having, with this token itself, he is having unlimited access?
Unlimited, yeah. It is not changing. I checked that.
Oh, it's
so
not
every
changing.
time, every time I make a query, so then I'll get a new refresh token. It is the same thing. It is not changing at all. I saw that.
Oh. So what you can do, I mean, since your duration is one of the challenges, okay, I'm giving a workaround here, bear with me. RTMS, right? RTMS is some tenant, okay?
So yeah, it's a tenant, yeah.
So this RTMS, you call it RTMS1, prototype into a copy. There in RTMS1, your control over this refresh token's duration expires in, or refresh token expires in the field value below that. That you tinker with that, saying, I don't want to have a very huge one in this prototyped one. Okay, in RTMS1, you reduce it to just 30 seconds or something like that. So you can test it out.
I cannot do that. I cannot change the number. I have no scope to do it actually.
Here, this main service itself, you modularize, you abstract that thing into a smaller, what do you call, take this alone and create into a sandbox. We use these terms. Actually, RTMS, don't touch it. Don't touch RTMS. Copy RTMS into RTMS1.
Okay.
So that is my own new personalized service.
Okay.
In that, you can change, right? You're not touching the production one. You are abstracting into one test environment where you can triage, you can test things, right? So there, you are renaming, you got an exact copy, RTMS tenant, and create the name, not as RTMS tenant, call it some new name, RTMS
Okay. Okay.
1, RTMS
Yeah, I
1.
understood that point. Yeah, I can do that.
That
What?
you
So what?
do, and then come to that service, RTMS 1 is your own for purpose of testing. Okay. So now
Yeah.
you go ahead and change that refresh token, which is sitting at 60 days, to just a short duration, like 30 seconds, something like that.
Okay.
Okay. So then you can see what is actually going on. Is the refresh uh, not at all happening at all? So then with that 30 seconds, is he able to log in once again? You can check on RTMS 1. See,
I can
I'm
do it now. Like I can do it now. You want to say I edit this and make it something smaller and then use the token. That's what you're saying?
not on the main one. I think you're still on the main
This is all
service.
this RTMS itself is a test sandbox only.
Sandbox, huh? Okay,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
modify this duration.
How
Let
do
me
I
just.
can't change it. I don't know how to change it. Like, yeah, it's not editable. Okay, what you're saying is copy this. I'll use this and
Hmm.
create a new application wherein I will. Okay, I'll try that. Okay.
Manage access tokens. It allow you to it. Because this token
Manage.
is, excuse me,
Oh,
because this
okay.
token is actually generated. You
Correct.
can tinker with it. Yeah,
I
you.
can't tinker with it.
Yeah. This token is
I,
some
hmm.
SHA-256 or something generated token.
Yeah.
So what you can do about it? Yeah, the duration. Okay, the duration has to be reduced. It's not letting you change that also. Right?
Yeah, I cannot change
Mm,
it at all.
mm,
And it manages that count from inside, I think. It knows this token,
mm.
when this was issued just now,
Yeah,
the server knows that this guy is valid only for this much time.
correct. Correct.
I cannot
So
manipulate it actually.
you,
Yeah.
you are not able to issue the update. Even if you are in the sandbox, you have any admin on this? Admin user?
No.
No,
This is
nothing,
all
right? This.
nothing. Yeah. This token management is centralized now for all the tenants.
Mm, mm.
This tenant is a non-production tenant sandbox. That's all.
Okay, but how do we refresh token expires in? Okay, I mean,
So what the
so.
customer is saying is, look,
Hmm.
I have started using. Okay.
Ah, ah,
Every time for every access, I send both this guy, what is his name? Bearer token, access token,
oh,
and the region refresh token. I send both.
ah,
So, and now after 60 days, what I see is I don't need to uh, refresh also. I don't need to get a new refresh token.
mhm, mhm,
Okay. Because every time when I send this query, like I
mhm,
send this in the morning.
mhm,
So when I send this along. This
mhm,
gets a new extra lease of life. That's what my engineer told. Now the validity of this refresh token is so much time starting now.
mhm,
As
mhm,
long as you keep using continuously,
mhm,
this refresh token keeps increasing its validity. That's what he said. I wrote that story to the customer, like whatever he said,
mhm.
and that's how I sent
I see.
that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, but that so what customer is saying is
Mm.
60 days is passed, still with the same expiry token, he is able to log in, is it?
Yeah, he is able to continue, and we
The
have gone
with
for
the
60 days. Yeah.
with the same past 60.
Yeah.
Refresh tokens, I
So I
probably have
don't
to
want
dig
to.
in more on the refresh tokens, how it works.
Mm.
Refresh, I mean,
I,
but server is taking his access token as he's logging in again. See, with access
mm,
token is telling us that he's logging in again. Okay. So
mm,
when you
mm,
log in, you are already on a session. See, in an API, when I give the
mm,
access key on the
mm,
URL, See, this Edema. Okay, the access key is obtained. But
Okay, you can bring up your screen. Sorry.
Okay. See, anytime we pass the access key on the URL, that's a login. See, understand? It's
okay. Understand.
access key is just a SHA of that username and password. That's all to it. So when you're passing the access keys, it is actually logging into the server, no? So since he might have requested with the access, okay, now he has he's already logged into the application, right? So the token we issued as an expiry token is taking over. Okay. Same thing is working for how many visits? Huh? Maybe there is some, because it typically depends on whether you configured for certain duration. The expiry of refresh token. What is the validity of refresh token? It's just a duration, right?
90 days or 60 days,
but whatever duration, but beyond that also it's working. Okay, refresh tokens definition. By definition, have you checked what it is? Because the duration is clear, no? I mean, typically you feel like, okay, this is refresh. I think the new token is getting issued somehow. But you're saying value is not changing.
Value is not changing. That's what I'm saying. That was the.
Okay. Let's see the refresh tokens. Refresh. New access token. Clearly differentiating two tokens avoid a mixer. Workflow. 3 minutes refresh token. Your interval serial and set timer. New access token. The credentials used to obtain access tokens used the claim.
So what he says, ideally, if you refresh token,
current access becomes invalid or expires. To obtain additional access token with identical or narrower scope.
What he says is, my engineer, so I just quoted that he's saying, ideally, if you use refresh token to renew access token, the life of the refresh token will keep getting extended by 60 days. Only time a reauth would be required is when the refresh token is never utilized for 60 days. Got what I'm saying?
Okay. I see. It will keep on refreshing with the same token.
So as long as you are using, like you set it up today and for the next 60 days, you didn't use it. Now you come back, you have to log in again. Otherwise, every time, as long as you are using this token continuously, okay. And you keep sending, this refresh token gets re-authenticated. Anyway, so that was what I understood.
See, the refresh token is only exchanged with the authorization server.
Correct.
Whereas access is, the access is about
the payload. Access token is with the payload.
The resource servers.
Resource servers,
So the authorization is just letting him every time. This mitigates the risk of long-lived access token. An access token good for an hour. Refresh token is good for a year. And good till revoked. Good till revoked.
There is a security reason. The refresh token is only ever exchanged with authorization server, whereas the access token is exchanged the resource event. This mitigates the risk of long-lived access token. Okay.
Access token is good for an hour, with the refresh token good for a year, or good till revoked. Okay. Versus an access token good till revoked without a refresh token. So there's good.
We don't use the second part. We use the first part kind of thing.
See, I think good till revoked. Maybe that's what you're seeing, right?
So
That's
if after 12 hours you're running a query, okay, your payload token, bearer token is already expired. Okay, but you are sending the access the refresh token along with it. So the refresh token, it will just check, oh, is it valid? Oh, it's valid. So okay, let me give you a new access token. So it
correct.
gives you a new
See,
access.
so then the authentication server is knowing, oh, here is Prabhu. That's all it's doing.
It's all it's doing.
You getting access to the doctor is still not done. That is what I'm saying. The resource, okay, I mean to say the service, right? If you need the service, until then, he is acknowledging. The authentication server is just acknowledging the refresh token.
Authentication services acknowledging the refresh token. Okay.
Now, access token is exchanged with the resource service. See, now typically you can have a separate authentication server. Okay. The service what you're using, okay, if you need some let's say product, okay, you're using some e-commerce store, you want to pull some product information newly. Now that service needs access tokens. So service will have this check on the access token, and then
access token is a payload. That's very clear. So without that you don't get content. Yeah, that's clear.
For new content to be served, he will check whether you have that access token. So authentication is separate. Authentication is acknowledging you are there, you are there, you are. The moment you say, I want the next product to be searched, okay, I want a surfing board to be searched. It's a new search. So at that time, I have to tell, if I am the authentication server, I have to tell, hey, resource, hey, doctor, please give me the new product. The resource server has to be reached out. At that time, the resource server is going to check you have access. So the access token access key is passed, the resource is pulled newly and given. Okay. I think what is happening is good till rework is happening for you. He's authenticated 60
the first
days.
part.
The moment he is authenticated and the authentication lets you log in. But the moment you pull the new resource, okay, if I'm searching for a new surfing board product, is going to take that API's resource, right? So that for that operation, he will still need an access token to be checked. So access token anyway is passed. So at that time, he's going to authenticate both. The resource server is going to look at the access token and log in. Simply said, anytime you see access token, it's just a login. So the login will happen and the data will be fetched.
Data will be fetched. Yeah, that's clear. That always happens.
I think maybe here if he did not log in, so you are saying that if he does not log in, then the refresh token is expired. That's when it is.
Correct.
Right.
For 12 hours.
So
for 60 days, if you don't log in, then you have to again log in. So if you don't do an API call, then the refresh token is gone.
Correct.
But if you are going to do at least one query in that 60 days, your refresh token got a new lease of life from that day for the next 60 days.
I got it. Okay. So he went on vacation like that.
Yeah.
So if he took a 10-day off, or suppose if he took more than 60 days off, right? 2 months. If he took a break for more than 2 months, then that refresh token will not let him log in again. The refresh is good till revoked. And it's not revoked here. Good till expired. If it is refresh token, so what we are understanding a refresh token is good till it is expired. I mean, and not yet logged in that duration. Kind of sorry about that. So inside the 60 days, if he touched logged in, it is going to keep that. So 60 days passed. If he went past the 60, he did not log in at all.
Then you have to re-authenticate. You have to go back.
Then with
Username,
this,
login.
correct. Then with this refresh, he cannot come in.
You cannot come in. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's something new. Yeah. Okay. Because typically refresh token is letting him continue like that, right? Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is OAuth 2. These are actually authentication. Yeah. Yeah, we went deep down, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's get back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Postman, I mean, just an endpoint testing app. Okay. Whether we looked at it and there's no code. This all we checked. Okay. This is RPC. This is a remote procedure call. That's the SOAP method. Okay. This is one of the application called Odoo. Okay. It's an ERP. The new key generates, the access key is generated like that. And in all the calls, you can.
Aji, I had one question. There is also this YAML, right? Why is YAML not as popular? YAML is for sending config data or something, right?
YAML, it is used inside, see, the open source folks, okay? When you look at some open source like GitHub, where they have written some scripts, okay, for migrating between, let's say you want to create a CI/CD pipeline. It means, simply put, I have built one service, okay, this tax service. Now I have a production, I have another environment, I have a test environment, I have a user acceptance testing environment, I have a QA, fourth QA environment. All these are copies of my production. Okay. Now YAML is when I make a change in one, let's say this tax API, I've made some modification. Okay. I've added some additional address, street address to this return value, something like that. Earlier it was, I give a number, a tax code, and it returns a name. But now, if you give a number, it'll give the name and the street address. Let's keep this is the scope of the change. Okay. Now, when you run this, okay, I have a CI/CD pipeline going, meaning as soon as I modified and push to my, let's say, a test server, push my development server, okay. I made the modification. I'm a developer. I made the modification. I push to the development server. This should automatically kick off testing on my test server. Let's say that's this kind of use case we are dealing with. So as soon as I push this in GitHub, okay, okay, the repository on the other test environment will automatically start testing.
Okay.
So in this context, they have some scripting called yet another markup language or YAML. This script is nowhere except there only. Okay, what it can do, it has some functions. It has some language to it. Okay, I can show it to you, but let's say okay, I have this content here. Just give me 1 minute, because it can do a couple of things. It can do the use case. I will take linting. I don't want to expand too much, but let's see.
If it's not relevant, you can leave it. It's too much of time.
Yeah. Basically, we'll come to it in a GitHub segment of this course. Okay.
Okay.
It's coming along. Okay. It is there. Basically, it comes later. That would be a slide. Because if you go, it's used in that context. I'll keep it short there. YAML is yet another markup language where the context is I am doing a CI/CD where I'm pushing the code to Git, okay, to the development environment, and the test should automatically start testing. The code changes I made, I can let me take one small scenario. If I want to do a code coverage, okay, simply called linting, okay. I'm slightly taking further, but I'll keep it short, okay. Linting means code linters are there. That means I have simply 100 lines of code. Let's say this tax example has got 100 lines of code. How much of my code is running? Okay. Have you ever thought about? Because I have several people using this API. Only 70 lines of code are running, not all 100. Okay. So linting is a process wherein you get code coverage. What actually ran? You have multiple if conditions. Okay. But one or two conditions are only executing. Okay. As against if I have 5 conditions, only 2 are executing. So linting is a process of finding what code actually ran, code coverage. Okay. So that linters are there. So as soon as I sync to this code to the dev in test, this code coverage function will automatically run. So I can call these sort of auto scripts, automatic testing, or continuous development and continuous integration. Okay. This is called continuous integration because in this model, it's no longer a manual operation. I'm automatically, I'm doing a repository refresh or repository, a push to the origin master. I have one master repository and the development. Okay. See, they have branches here. I'm slightly digressing. If you don't follow, just let me know. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Think of this: dev, test, UAT, QA, prod. Okay.
Yeah.
I push to dev. Okay. So then my other pushes to test and other repositories should happen automatically.
Automatically. I
So
got
we
that
have a
point. Yeah.
pipeline. We have what's called a CI/CD pipeline. So the pipeline allows you to do some operations. You can write some scripting called YAML. Okay. Yet another markup language. Okay. Running right there can call functions like linting. Okay. I do code coverages. And so you'll see that with one push on the dev branch, when you merge to the pipeline aspects of test dev and all will automatically take off. This is called a CI/CD pipeline, and this is in the context of the whole domain is called DevOps. Okay,
Yeah.
there we are continuously integrating code and continuously deploying to various environments.
So what will this YAML do? It will ensure
YAML
that
is a script where you write inside that inside that environment, inside the GitHub pipeline, that you want linting to happen. And then you want the call to take. And that there is some variables. Your login. Let's say I don't want to expose any login username password, right? I would have put it in a separate file. So I'll have variables to read that file.
Okay.
And so I'll say, okay, run this linter and then log into test and push to test. This scripting and all is written in YAML. Okay, so we'll come there. We'll look at it later. That's coming up into the later module because if you see the coverage here, GitHub merge. This is some topics to be discussed here. Okay, I will give an intro to DevOps there.
Okay, fine.
YAML comes inside as one small aspect. Okay, not to bother. Yeah, its scope is DevOps. Okay, mostly like that. So that's okay. What we do, we'll close out on some of our branches here. So rest we are
Rest I'm kind of clear.
fairly
I use it,
clear,
right? So
right?
fairly understand.
Okay, so
Even
let's
I don't want to understand too much about soap. I know rest is here to stay. So that's
here,
it. Yeah,
correct.
we can
Yeah.
go forward. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, very good. Okay, let me close out another. Now Django REST framework.
Mm.
Django REST framework is
Mm.
a framework available within Django
Mm.
framework. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, we just start that session. Okay. Yeah, if you change the way you look at things you look at change. Vein dryer. It's something to reflect on deeply, but we
Mhm.
just start the REST framework with that. So
Mm.
Django offers a REST framework. It's a
Mm.
Python-based framework to
Mm.
create a REST API.
Mm.
Okay. Very
Mm.
easily, you can create REST API. See, until now, we're talking
Mm.
about using some API,
Mm.
right? We're
Mm.
talking about using a service, authenticating, all that, REST-based principles. So we were so far only using API, using to test API with Postman and all that. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
So, but here, now you create your own API.
Mm.
Okay. Now you as a developer, you know you've been using quite a few APIs like Australian
Mm.
business number, all that. And you
Mm. Mm.
develop your own song API.
Mm.
You, like Spotify, you can create your own API.
Mm.
Okay. Today, every
Mm.
fellow wants to put his own API. And
Mm.
that API, if it is hitting same way like some high water mark,
Mm.
he gets to sell whatever. Okay.
Mm.
Whether if it is in banks, you can have some bank authentication. Uh, Basically, Swift is a
Mm.
standard. So there are APIs which you can create in that domain, each domain. So
Mm.
banking, you want to have some API, custom create API. So that's
Mm.
when you use Django REST framework.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
To make this very easy, they have this object called a serializer. Okay.
Mm.
A serializer is a Python class that allows creation of JSON data for the model. Very simple. I have a model. Let's take product.
Mm.
Okay, product and just the product name.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Now I'll make it even more easier because so far when you look at Django model form, I introduce you to the model,
Mm.
the product model, and
Mm.
similarly I introduce you to the Django model form. That also was a class, right? That also was a Python class. What
Mm.
it did, it inherited from Django model form. So I created a product model form. You understood that there are two things here. A data model
Mm.
and a Django's model form. Here, when you come to Django REST framework, it is exactly the same. You have a data model called song model,
Okay.
and you have a serializer object, much like the Django model form.
Mm.
Serializer is what you would need to create an API. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I say two things required, the in this case, the product model form or the song
Mm.
model, I mean, sorry, the product model.
Mm.
Okay. So the
Mm.
entity with which you are going to create, you have to model that. Okay.
Okay. You need a
Product model,
database. Okay.
product
Mm.
model or the song model.
Mm.
And for APIs, a song serializer, a
Mm. Okay.
product serializer. Nothing but it gives you one object. Django gives you a serializer's parent from which you inherit. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Serializer dot model serializer class. This is a this is a parent. When you create
Mm.
a song serializer, when you create your own child here, you
Mm.
inherit from serializers dot model serializer.
Good.
So then
Okay.
what happened? This will allow you to What is a serializer? What is a serializer? It allows creation of JSON data for the model. And you can select the field _all. So, okay. This part you understood. The two things needed are the model and the serializer. Okay. Serializer is your child class, inherits from serializers.model serializer class. Do you draw a parallel with the Django model form? There,
Yeah. I can. Yeah.
The product model inherited from Django model form. So here, the same way, inherited from serializer.model serializer. That's all. And then you go about doing the view and the CRUD. Okay. Again, this is a foundation. Okay. Simply the takeaway is song model to be created and a song serializer to be created. Product model to be created and product serializer to be created.
And where do you wire that model?
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Yeah. Right? So this is called a serializer. Now, what is a serializer? Serializer is nothing but a flattened model that allows creation of JSON data. So when I say a product, my name, the product name, okay, pencil, okay, name, pencil. Okay, I will go to see. Okay. See, ID, Django itself gives the ID. So what is the API is going to give? Capability to read and to post, right? The get and the post.
Okay.
The model here, I'm taking the example of song. Okay. Title of the song, Diamonds. Singer, Rihanna. So this is one data. JSON data. The next song, Watermelon Sugar, Rain Styles. Okay. So what you see here is I have flattened. What is meant by flattened or serializing? Here is the square bracket of the Python list. Here is the first dictionary, second dictionary. You see, it's a text file which is flattened. Okay, flattening means in the URL, if you just put it, it is just going to be one string inside the square brackets.
Understood. Okay.
Each of it will contain one.
It's a list of dictionaries. No, it's not even.
Exactly, you got it. You nailed it. List of dictionaries, and that is coming on the as a return to the get. The song. When I say song list, it just gives me all the songs. So since it's flattening, they're calling it serializer, nothing more.
Okay.
Serial, one after the other, no? Flattened data. That's all to it. I think you got this part, right? Rest, the view to be coded for the get and the post, all that will apply. Okay. Now, let's dive in. Okay, I'll take this example. I'll walk you through. Just sit back and watch. Okay. I will also show the run. Okay. So we'll see it in few slides and then we'll go hands-on and do the run. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. From Django.db, import models. Okay. I'm creating the model. Song, importing models.model, inherited. A song model, title, models.character field, max length 100. The song is 100 length. Singer, model.character field, max length 50. Very simple model.
Yeah, just two columns. That's it.
Two columns, very simple. Two columns. IDs will be automatically issued by Django. You don't have to bother. Define your columns, the model is done. Now, string representation. When I call a single song, what should I get back? I should get back self.title. I don't need Rihanna's name. I just have to know what is that name of the song. That's all. That's simple. That's a string representation. Return back. Okay. Define the model. Step 1. That's the first thing. The second thing is go to define the serializer. Okay. Now when you define the serializer, what you need? I need the model, right? So I import from .models, import song. Okay. So when you build the serializer, There is a REST underscore framework library. Import serializers. This is a model. Okay. This module. Okay. This module. Right. So from that library, import the module. Now that is going to give you model serializer, which is your parent class. So you create a song serializer class, child class, inherits from serializers.model serializer.
Okay.
Okay. Then your syntax class meta.
Okay.
Name the model. That's simple. A model is song. All fields is represented like this. Fields equal to double underscore, all double underscore. If you put like this, now all of these two, title, singer, everything will flatten. Everything gets serialized. So this is the second thing. Create the song serializer. Simple. I'll quickly recap. Create a song serializer, define the columns, title and singer. Create the song serializer by inheriting from serializers or model serializer, the parent. Name the model. Just name the model, song, all the fields you wanted. Okay.
It is 1:1, is it?
All fields means all fields of the model will come.
Not that.
1:1.
Not that.
1:1.
No, what I mean is, in this serializer, I can only handle one table. Song.
Yeah, each song serializer, each serializer is for one model. Correct.
Okay.
Each serializer for one model. So song serializer, song model. Product serializer, product model.
Okay. So I can't do more than one serializer. I can't serialize to more than one table.
Serialized more than one table.
One model, basically.
One model. You'll have to look, but we are just learning. Okay.
Yeah, understood.
Okay.
Yeah, it's simple. Yeah, that's okay.
Because we'll get there. Probably that both serializer will have to be included. We'll see. Okay. But one serializer to one model. Okay. One serializer to one model. That's fairly straightforward. You could build a structure with multiple serializers.
Okay.
That means it's if you create a customer account, account can in fact have some nested. So as long as one entity is there, if you're nesting your models with some relationship, one to many, one to one, and all that, and then arriving at a customer account which has some sub entities, you can have that structure also, right? So take accounts. I'm taking this example because an account, a customer could have a savings account, could have a loan account, all that sort of account. So you'll have to build that model, the customer model, in a certain way. Okay, that could have sub. Like account, loan account, savings account, like that could have sub entities. So if the structure itself is having a tree structure, then each of which will have to be pulling their substructures. Like it should have the, let's say, savings account serializer, I should have the loan account serializer, all nest together and build that framework, build that API. Okay. Yeah. But we'll go there. I mean, we're just beginning and learning. So
we're just beginning.
Focus.
Yeah, that's the early days.
So song serial, right? No, very simple. I mean, this allows you to focus on what matters. So that's why I simplified here. Song, to title, and flattened here. Okay. So these two done. Song model and song serializer done. Now get to the view. Okay. Now when you get to the view, REST framework.decorator. Back in our object-oriented days, we learned what a decorator is. I showed you my wife's cake and with some chocolate, and there's a cream decorator and some sprinkler decorator. So the decorator here, we use API underscore view. Very simple. So from REST underscore framework dot decorators, import API underscore view. This is going to be my decorator. Okay, and REST framework dot response. We'll get to that. Okay. What else you need? You need from models, your song model, from serializers. Serializers is a separate file, much like models.py. Serializers.py will be a file where all serializers will be placed.
Oh, okay.
So from .serializer, the way to read from that file, import song serializer. Okay. So we got the song serializer, and now we create the view. Okay. So this is views.py. We create def song list, one function. This is our core of the API function. This is the service. Okay. And you're doing the query set songs.objects.all. I want all songs ordered by title. Okay. So this is alphabetical order of the title. Okay. So ordered by title. So song query set. I pull the song serializer like this. Serializer equal to, I instantiate the song serializer, passing the query. So this is where the objects are created. Okay. So the serialization is happening. The flattening of this query set is happening here, right here. Okay.
Same syntax, right? Songs are like products.objects.all. Same syntax like what we had for in the other one. Yeah.
Products. Yeah. Products only. Yeah. So for that web store we created, this is the same way. Here, it is much like the Django model form. Pull the record set. There it was Django model form. Here, pull the song serializer. Create an object of the song serializer passing the query set. Okay. Many equal true, many records. Okay. And return response serializer.data. Serializer.data is a common syntax. So this is the object.data.
Glue code.
Glue code. Serializer.data. Keep the name of the object as serializer.data. So you don't have to use other variants of it. Response is what we pulled here. This is your HTTP response, like REST frameworks response. That also is provided by REST framework. So the REST framework gives you these two API view and response, which you can easily, these are the functions which you can easily build your API. Okay, so this is what now the function is done. There's a decorator on it. At API view, within brackets, within square, within quote, get. So this is your get operation. Okay. So I get the song list. Okay. So when I get the song list, there is some values already. It's a list of songs. I'm not passing an ID. Okay. This is a list of all songs. Songs list, not the function name. Songs list or the list of songs. Okay. Other way of getting is pass one ID and I return that specific song. Correct. But here we are not doing that. We'll come to it. So this is songs list, the list of all songs. You got song.object.all. Okay. Now return response takes care. This code is there. Okay. Now that's a get. Now we have to bridge the URL patterns. Correct.
Right.
Come here. I can say path songs / views.songlist over views.songlist. Now here I can build this URL, or if I leave it 2 quotes empty, my landing page will give all the songs. Okay. So for this, I build one API app. Okay. There are some background settings to it. I'm going there. From that app only, these views are imported. From API import views, so that I can see. These are some of the peripheral things. Like I can say from API import views. So then you say views.songs. So that's inside one subfolder there, like my app. When we created the Django model form, I put my app as one app. Correct. Here, our app, that name called my app is API here. That's all.
Oh, okay.
That subfolder is API. So from API import views. So that views.py got pulled in here. Okay. So then I can say views.songlist, songs list, views.add song. Add song is coming up. Okay. That's the post. Okay. So we have done the get. I will, let's see. Here is how it looks. I took a screenshot here. Localhost songs are route, and there goes the get operation. By default, all the values will come. Okay.
Okay.
The post is also similar. Song serializer. Okay. Request.data. Whatever you entered on the screen is in request.data. Decorator API view post. I had my second function, add song. Build just the serializer with the request data. Check if is valid. Standard blue code is the text and number. Okay. Then serializer.save. Look at this. Much like form.isValid, form.save. Same way.
Correct.
Here you use the word called serializer. Okay. And then the response serializer.data. Okay. Of course, status, when it is created, the HTTP status is 201. For read, successful read is a 200. See here, 200 okay. For a create or the post, okay, for get it is 200, for post is 201, successful creation. So status is successful creation or not. It is checking and it will return that. Okay, so this will do the post. Okay, how it will look?
Delete is 202, right?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
So the 202, 203 goes like that. Okay. So here, so when you add the song, here is you will choose the media type application JSON. Content, you have to put that particular format of the JSON of the new record. I say title of my song is Wonderful World. Singer Bob Marley. And this is a multi-line text. Here is a post button. You click on the post, record will go from your application to that server. You're enriching the data. You're adding, posting the record. So the fifth row or the third song will get added like that. Okay. So add song. It added that successfully. It gave an ID, third song. And it gave the response back, 201, created. Okay. So, this is what got response from there. So let's do it. Let's do it in action here. I got the project open. Okay. DRF Pro is my Django REST framework project. Okay. Don't bother about many things. I'll take you right where it matters right now. Okay. Of course, it has a curve, but look at some things you will automatically recognize. My project, my app,
my app is app.
API.
Okay. So you have to add that in that settings.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. So DRF Pro is my project. Settings is here. Okay. So let me just installed app. I should include
API.
REST framework.
Oh, okay.
Now comes the library which I need to add to create my own REST API. Okay. I go to this project. I go to settings. You have to install this in the project. So we are here DRF Pro. When the interpreter will show that. Django REST framework. Okay. Pip install this thing. Okay. So I added all that and installed all that and all that. It's even telling me to upgrade. I'm having that ready. Okay, we'll not go about all that. That is the API. And that is your Python package, which brings the capability to the application. Hold on. Here. I have to include that. REST underscore framework. Okay. My custom app API, that also has to be included. I have a base app here that also is included. Okay. Under installed apps. Okay. And rest here, Here. Other change. Okay, rest is all the same here. So settings is the first change there. Then come here, create the model. Okay, I mean this is not the model. Model.cap field. Okay, it shows model as product here. Just it should. Let me see what serializer I create. Okay, I put a product serializer.
Okay, no worries.
Product serializer. This
I prefer that. Keep the same database. Yeah.
So you see, I'll show you this like this. Okay. So from REST framework, it allows once you install that Django REST framework, you use this syntax from REST underscore framework. It's not one word here. So they slightly kept their name here. From REST underscore framework, import serialize. From base.models, import product. And model.products. Very simple. Okay. Product serializer.
Basically, here you map the model to your serializer, basically.
Model right? And create your serializer.
Yeah, create your serializer.
Create a serializer. For creating serializer, you need the product model. Then rest is all. Here is the view. Not on the base view. So okay, so the main thing to watch here is the serializer.py. You create a file, serializer.py. We created this, right? So serialize your product serializer is under serializers. Okay. Now when you go to the view, not on the base view. Yeah, view is here inside this API. So view is under
there are
API.
two views, huh? One view in
that's the base one. Base, let it be. But we are creating views.py.
In the app only. Okay.
With the app, much like...
Did I lose you? Hello?
Yeah, Prabhu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I didn't leave.
I hear flip. Power and my even net went off and Zoom pushed me off. No problem. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I think it's recording also. Okay, no issues. So let me share the screen. Just hold on.
Yeah, that's why I didn't end the call.
Yeah, thanks.
The recording is on, right? Yeah.
You're almost there at the last part.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So I'll start back from where just that view. Okay, we need the API view decorator. Okay, we need the response function. Okay, so that both coming from REST underscore framework dot response REST underscore framework dot decorator. We need the model. Okay, so from base models, base is just having the model. So base dot models import product from serializers.py, right? So from dot serializer, that's a way to import. You should use the dot. Okay. So from dot serializers, import product serializer. Okay. Then get data, get the model dot objects dot all into products. Get this product serializer, pass the model, n equal to true, just pass it into serializer. So now serializer is our object. And then return response serializer.data. See, very simple. Okay, very simple. For the post also, same way, one function add product. Okay. Product serializer. You're reading from screen, so request.data. Okay. Data is equal to request.data. Okay. Serializer is valid. Serializer save. Okay. And response, I have to send that the new
201.
201 with the new record, right? So serializer.data will show me the value. I'll show one example here. Right here, I have the application. This would be for the song example, though it's not for the product. Okay.
No worries.
So that what we saw, no, this song thing, I will show it. So this is my example for the earlier one. Okay, I'll start here, CMD. Okay. You seeing my command prompt screen?
Yeah.
Windows system. Okay. Okay, so here my project is under InfoSure Dev DRF Pro. Okay. DRF Pro. API. Okay. So that's the serializer on that. So at InfoSure Dev, DRF Pro is the project. The managed PY is here. Okay. And the virtual environment is here. So this is my project folder. Okay. I'm taking InfoSure Dev DRF Pro. The DRF Pro is the folder where I create the project. Okay. So in my prompt, CD, same thing, same here. Okay. Now, there's a VNV. So I will have to first activate that. CD, VNV, CDs. Yeah. So long back we did this activate bat, no? To activate the virtual environment. So this shows up here in bracket. So virtual environment.
This basically starts your HTTP server, right? The web server, basically, correct?
Virtual environment is setting the libraries and all that.
Okay.
Okay. It is giving Python the effect. HTTP server is still not yet started. Okay. Now we'll start. Now we'll start that. So here you'll see to start so I'm back to the main folder where we have manage PY. See, keep track of this. Manage PY is where we have to look out. Okay, so then I start the server Python dot manage PY run server. Okay, this is a standard command. So if I start the server now, the Django server will come up. Okay, it started. Okay, if I go to this URL now, localhost 8000. Okay, localhost 8000. I will go to that. Localhost 8000. I do have the landing page. Okay, watch. As soon as I land, it got the products. Okay, you see this? So I mean, the song data is also similar, but okay, bear with me on that. So here, name is the name of the product. Just one field was used. The song we used 2 fields, but name is one field here. I think we gone into one folder where it is just the products model. Okay. So the get was on the landing page itself. Okay. So get operation finished. Okay. Get was on the landing page. You can see this get as a JSON. Can also show like this. Pretty print. Okay. So the API fetched already because we map in that case to in the urls.py.
Did I lose you, Aji?
I'm there.
Yeah, okay.
See, urls.py under API, I have path map to view.get data. So it pulled automatically.
Okay.
The path.add, so the post. Okay. So it fetched the get automatically. If I go to see, if I go to the admin also, it will show that. Okay, I will take you there later. But admin is one, but add is another. Add. It's now going to the post. This will be similar. Add, I've used add just a simple name. If it's add song, it will go to the get. I mean, it will go to the songs one. Okay. So, what is it? Take it too long. So the route here is add. Right? Add is going to do add products. Okay.
Okay.
And add products on the view is add product like that. Provides so some tabs. The song one also will go there. Okay. And song and products. So this what we just saw, creating a simple API. Okay. So here let it come. It will come. Okay. The localhost add, and I've never seen it take too long like this. Maybe it's crunching for memory, or, but it will come up and you can add. I will show. And then when you do the get after that, now the four items, it'll add a fifth item. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
So, and the data for that add, I mean, for that add. You have to send the data in JSON format, like name, like that. Aqua Wave Surfboard. Okay, like this. Okay, this is your post. Name, colon, the name. Okay, so this is another product like that. It'll add. Okay, and if it is like the song, if I say title and singer, I have to pass the same as it is in the model, for the song model, like that. Okay, so here title of the song, Don't Want to Miss a Thing, Aerosmith. Title of Wonderful World, Bob Marley. This has to be put into the post. It's still what happened here. Okay, something was add product came. Okay, add product came. So JSON, now it's waiting for the post to happen. So I will paste it. Sorry, I got this simple.
So this UI template and all, how it automatically generates, is it?
Django REST framework gives all this.
Oh,
this thing. This thing is all. Add is what we are just saying. Yeah, all this is available.
Content, post button, everything automatically come.
From the framework. Yeah,
And I've seen this format in many places. So that means they're all using the same Django, or it's the same
No,
UI?
it may not be Django. It could be something else. But Django allows you to create your own with a simple approach like this.
Got it.
And these things are provided by Django. So now when I post, okay, the product is added. See, it gave a new ID. ID you don't need to bother. Name, Aqua Wave Surfboard got added. Created was one of my other fields. Okay, if I go to the model, I'll show you the model. Created date time field. Auto now and auto underscore now underscore add equal to true. Just if we give that option with date time field, It'll take the time it got created automatically like this. Up to the correct time zone. Okay. So now the product got added. Okay. So what's this? I go back to the route on the landing page. It would have fetched.
No, number 5. Okay.
6. As it got 6, I think interim something got generated. Okay.
Okay.
So this is how it works. Okay. So the REST framework is done. Of course, this has some simplified things to bother. The settings here, and when you come to the admin, okay, let me now go to the server's admin. You can see that admin. I got one admin user, and let me log in. Products, Aquawave Surfboard. Okay, I think you didn't see this one earlier. Yeah, I was
before I was
groups
in
and
the
user.
database.
This is a product. So this is your model from the admin side. I logged in now as admin. Okay, my own super user name. So here 4 were there. The 5th one got added. If I click on it, I have the fields. I just added one field. I can delete. I can modify all that. Modify and save as an admin. Very nicely these are there, and if I have to delete something, I can even delete selected products here. So I'm super user, and what we put as strings, this and the model, this def str return self dot name or self dot whatever we gave is what appears here under product. Okay, so what that name is this one. Okay, so this is what is returned on the API also. Okay, so if I go back, I log out here and I go back. So I go to the landing page. See, the get is having that record. Okay, so this is how the Django REST framework makes everything simplified to create your own API. So we just focus on the get and the put only. Delete and all that can be coded if you create a delete and all that. Okay, but simple API operations, we don't let anybody delete our record. We're giving an API. It will allow you to create and allow you to read. Fair enough, right? I mean, nobody would let any delete happen. So the super user has control over your own API.
Okay. Anyway, I have to go through the recording. I'll make notes. I'll see how the wiring is all happening. And I'll have a good handle.
That as a step-by-step approach. Okay, we'll do that another time. I just have introduced.
I'll introduce you. Okay, got it. Okay.
And so that you have seen the use of it. You learned certain aspects of what a serializer is. Just to recap on those, right? A serializer, you create a serializer. What it is, it needs a model. You need both serializer and the model. Okay, you create your own serializer, your own model. Okay, then go to the view. I'm sorry, the view here. Okay, import the model, import the serializer, import the API view decorator, code for the get and the put, get and the post. Okay, import response so that it gives the API response. Okay, so this is what's already coded, and then you tie it out with the URL patterns, read and add. Okay, and you're all set. Okay, the settings is done, all that is done. When you get the app running, you start the server. Okay, Python manage PY server. Go on to the URL. It will do the rest for you. You can add, you can.
Got it.
Like that. So that's the Django REST framework. Very easy to create, unlike any other frameworks.
Yeah.
Django by itself is a certain level. I think at that point when you understood the
So if I'm doing this by post, from a postman, right? Here you're rendering it on a browser, and I'm keying in the value. It is like the same first example only, like pencil boxes model, wherein you're appending data in a browser. Now, if I have to do the same thing from a postman, I can do that, right?
Once I create the API, now you created the API, it's available for you at your local host only. Now you have to go to some cloud provider, publish the API. See,
What does it mean?
See, in this API is running in my server, which is the Django server. Okay. The Django server is what I just started, no? I created the app called API. I deployed it on my running server on my desktop, right? For the public to use it, you have to deploy this whole container onto some cloud.
Some publicly hosted web server, right?
Web
Then
server.
yeah. But how do I do that actually in a normal world?
You have to take some cloud
Yeah,
provider
I'll take
account.
some server. I'll take a provider
Subscription. And let's take, for the sake of discussion, Heroku. Heroku is one set of folks who were providing cloud, or even AWS. Okay, then those, or even GitHub, they let you. There are so many other cloud, Vercel, cloud providers. When you go there, they have some ready-made templates for Flask and Django. So that's what we do in a continuous deployment. If you choose that template, you have to tell where your app is or the project is, you can push. Okay. So the cloud provider will have standard templates for pure play Django or Python or Flask. That will. So Flask or a template will be there. Django template will be there. You choose that Django and you then point to your code base. From here. You can upload your project. So that deployment also is not complex, but
I'll want to buy some space, and I want to see how to do it. So that's more exciting, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Once you learn how to build it, okay, and then one of the methods of going about in an open source manner is GitHub.
Okay. Okay, you'll cover that in the last.
In the last part, I'm covering GitHub.
But not this one. Okay.
Not this deployment, but even let's see. GitHub allows you to. It's open source. It's GitHub for Django. Somewhere it will be there. DevOps is also there. What is ACD? All this is started. To upload a Django template, something would be there. GitHub Actions would have some actions. What GitHub calls it recently is, or more recently from GitHub point of view, is actions. Okay, automate any workflow. Okay, so this is going to give you some deployment capabilities. See, Linux, Windows, publish. So he's showing. So he will have some templates. So this is what you're seeing is the YAML. See, publish, test, publish, check out. This is all YAML. YAML. What I mean to say is I don't show exactly for Django there, but I'll see. Basically, it can do various templates. So there will be some template. Okay. To that template, you can choose. It will let you deploy your Django app. Okay. So
when you say deploy, means you have to go there and add the same app in that particular settings and all that, is it?
Through GitHub, we'll create a repository in GitHub. We will push our project to that repository.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All that is possible with PyCharm. I mean, here there's one part of it where
Okay.
see,
So you just have to push the project, and the rest is
correct.
all taken care by the GitHub
Correct.
CI/CD
See,
pipeline.
share the project on GitHub. Okay. Or any of your version repositories like Subversion or anything. So this will let you push to the Git onto that location on GitHub, and all that some configurations of settings and all has to be done. When you do that, your project you're taking from local and deploying it to GitHub. Okay. Now, once it is in GitHub, there will be some workflow which can take this specific project and deploy on cloud. So that part of it we've not done. We'll have to explore that. Some
Explore it.
content.
No worries. I'll do some ChatGPT on that. No problem.
This on for a Django project should be available because Django is open source. GitHub is also open source. Okay. And I've come across other cloud, Vercel. Vercel is also a cloud provider. Okay. Like complements next web. Okay. These guys, I even deployed something on Vercel Cloud. So when you start deploying, there will be templates, and I think here, import your Git repository. Clone templates are there. Okay, he let you log in from Git itself. See, Vercel React. With React. For React starters, something is there. So in the same way, so what I mean to say is,
Django also something should be there.
that's all. There are templates which they support, and
React is your JavaScript
correct
framework, right? Yeah.
From it's a library. It's not a framework. JavaScript. The library given by Facebook is React. So templates. See, Jumpstart development templates at Vercel. He'll have all sort of templates. Okay. So frameworks. இங்கிருந்து framework வச்சிருக்கான். So easy, Angular, Gatsby எல்லாம் இருக்கு. Python framework, React. He's put it under framework, but this is from Facebook. Okay. Now, if you choose something, Angular is there, other basically Python, like framework, whatever he has. Django should have, there it goes. Django Hello World. Django Flask. See, Flask and Django are frameworks. Okay. So Vercel has got something. One clicker, one Flask app will, dummy Flask app, the basic Hello World will be up there. So in one clicker, Django 4, what we're using is Django 5 actually. Okay. So maybe it should support, but 5 will not go into 4. Here we are using 5 libraries. If you go to the library on settings, it's 5. Okay. 5, and even the upgraded one is 5.315 on the framework. 315 framework, 5.04. 5.14 is the Django version. These two are the libraries required, Django and Django REST framework. And then, if you see Vercel has dummied up for Django 4. So we can try. I mean, these two are some dummy starter ones, templates. இது எடுத்து போட்டோன்னா one moment the cloud app will show your app. Hello world.
Okay.
அதே மாதிரி a lot of templates are available. So this is how it goes to cloud. Other GitHub can push it with a Git pipeline. We'll have to explore because with GitHub.
So what will you call this Vercel? Vercel is a
cloud provider.
Cloud provider. Okay.
With developer tools and cloud infrastructure to build, scale, secure, faster. It's cloud.
If I say, okay, hey Vercel, I want to host only on Google Cloud, they'll do that there?
இல்ல the web hosting company.
Okay.
Amazon மாதிரி Google Cloud மாதிரி
Vercel Cloud.
இவன் வந்து இந்த 3 பேர்ட்டு எல்லாத்தையும் பல்கா வாங்கி வச்சிருப்பான் ஸ்பேஸ்.
Maybe they host on their own. It's American.
Their own.
Formerly Zeit, I don't know enough internal on the background. This deployment. One moment, let me just hold on here. I will stop the recording.
Yeah.